today we're here to just celebrate with the Premier as he embarks on a massive recovery for the BVI. Digicel is always privileged, always proud to get involved with any initiative to build back this fantastic territory. And today we have, tons, loads of cement right behind us. We've donated lumber, we've donated steel. That's also behind us. We've also donated sand and gravel, tons of sand, tons of gravel. And we are handing this over to the Premier, to the government, to ensure that the nation is rebuilt, to ensure that persons who have suffered tremendously by Hurricane Irma and Maria, they can be supported. It's our pleasure to be a part of this wonderful, wonderful territory. They have welcomed us in open arms when we started out 8 years ago. And we want to ensure that we support the community, we support the territory in the rebuilding of their homes, the rebuilding of their lives. Everybody has been touched by Irma. Nobody has been, has escaped Irma. But and anything that we can do to support this fantastic territory, we will do. And so we want to thank all the persons who supported us in donating these items. We want to thank our chairman, Dennis O'Brien, for graciously extending a warm hand of fellowship to the territory. I want to thank the government for partnering with us, and I want to hand over to the Premier now if he has anything he wants to say.
Yes, Kevin. Obviously, as everyone knows, this is a devastating hurricane that actually had left a devastating effect on the British Virgin Islands, as in some of the other islands in the Caribbean. But what is important for us is that as a territory, the people of the BVI still have this resilient spirit, so we can get back into work and get our building sorted or get our businesses started. And what is also equally important is that we have a lot of partners in industry who have been willing to come and assist the government, assist the people of this country. And I want to, in this regard, thank Digicel, the chairman, Mr. O'Brien, yourself, and the others who have been part of this whole rebuilding effort. And what you have done here, providing the building materials, is important because there are many people who have lost homes.
Right.
And we look at particularly the persons who would have more difficulty getting the equipment and the supplies necessary because of financial constraints.
That's correct.
And these are the people who will be targeted particularly to help with the material that you are offering.
Appreciate it.
What we're doing is, this of course will be handled through the Ministry of Health and Social Services because they're responsible for social housing. So we're going to be handling through that ministry. And there's going to be some cooperation work between that ministry and the Rotary Clubs of Tortola, working together, using the material that the Digicel has so graciously donated to be able to help more, starting off with the poor section of those who are less able to afford it, that part of the community.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I'm not sure if you have any questions at this point for the Premier, for myself, but the floor is open to you guys. Rain is falling, so please don't keep us too long.
Well, Mr. Premier, I know the government is very focused on temporary housing at this point, especially for those in shelters. So I'm just wondering if these particular supplies will contribute to temporary housing.
Not necessarily, This is for housing, for the rebuilding effort. If you look at all the supplies here, the concrete, the lumber and everything, this is a substantial effort in helping people to rebuild their homes.
Okay, and for Mr. Gordon here, could you tell us why exactly Digicel continues to, do this sort of thing?
Well, listen, as I said before, Hurricane Irma did not discriminate. It tore homes, it tore roofs apart, it tore lives, apart. And we are part of the community. As I said before, we were welcomed graciously by the territory and the people of the BVI when we came in 8 years ago. And, we have benefited from this fantastic territory. It's only fitting, I think, that we give back to the community that served us for 8 years. And so it's a pleasure. And giving in and of itself is a reward. So it gives me pleasure to be giving back to the community that served us. Sure.
Back to the Premier again. I apologize for flip-flopping. But I know the government said it is committed to help rebuilding houses for those who lost their homes. Are these supplies the first the government is receiving? I mean, in terms or what the government has so far?
No, as I said earlier on, I think there's a lot of people who have been donating substantially to the rebuilding effort to assist in both in the immediate term and also in the rebuilding effort. You would have seen the amount of supplies that have come in from various parts, individuals, countries who have been supporting us, and that's been very substantial. And I want to, at this point, also give say a great big word of thanks to all those individuals and countries who have been supporting us during the devastation from Hurricane Irma.
Premier, you said that persons who lost homes but did not have insurance will be specially taken care of. Does that mean that other persons who, had insurance would also be eligible to receive supplies?
No, what I said is that we obviously looking to support initially the persons who are less able to look after themselves.
Okay, not necessarily persons with or without insurance?
No, I don't think so, because there are many people with insurance who can actually, without insurance, who I know can
manage them.
Yeah.
What I was just going to ask is, would you see that some of these types of supplies going towards those types of persons?
Initially,
who didn't have the insurance.
Initially, we have to look after persons who are unable to assist themselves, who don't have the access to the finances that is necessary, and most of them probably would not have insurance.
How soon can persons expect, the building to start of these actual housing you're planning?
I know that the Ministry of Health and Social Services, they're the ones who are working with and the Rotary Club is working with us as well to make sure that the persons who are most in need will be those who are given the benefit of the donations by Digicel.
Any idea of how many houses you
I can't give that idea.
Mr. Gordon, could you name some of the items that came?
Well, we gave lumber, we gave some steel, we gave sand, gravel, and we also gave some cement. Those are the basic building blocks for, I guess, building back some of the structures that that were demolished.
Any idea off the top of your head the numbers of the various items?
Thousands of cement, tons of steel, tons of gravel, tons of cement. Concrete, gravel, and sand. I don't have specific numbers, but it's quite a lot.
And what is this costing Digicel?
Oh Lord, it's costing us love. That's what it's costing us.
All right. Thank you so much.
Mr. Premier, just one more question. Has there been a figure on the estimated cost of damage to the territory from Hurricane Irma?
Those are actually still being put together. There are some initial figures, but we still have to make the proper assessment before we can make a public statement and say this is the precise figure. Yeah.
All right, guys. All right. Thank you guys for coming.